Children are cancelled. Pets are the new children, and plants are the new pets. Hi there, I'm Roux, and welcome to my video, and welcome to another week of the apocalypse. To be honest, I thought the apocalypse would have more zombies and less Donald Trump. I hope my video brings you joy and takes your mind off of all the stressful-ish that's going on. And I want to thank everybody who works in transport. Y'all are just making everything go around. Think about it. If people didn't drive trucks full of food and stuff and everything, we would be so screwed. And if people didn't do like the maintenance on the cell phone towers and stuff, we would be so screwed. Imagine that, trapped inside and no cell service. That's almost worse than no food. Today we will have the delightful topic of r/ChildFree. People who choose to not have children on purpose. Because that is a hard job that not everyone wants to take. Not everyone wants human offspring. So let's just kick it off. As so eloquently put by Kumail Nanjiani, dear everyone who bugged us for the last 10 years to have kids. When are you gonna have kids? You should have kids. Where are you at now? Stuck at home with your children going insane? Yeah, I get it. All of you love your kids. Of course you do. You wouldn't trade your kids for anything. Of course you wouldn't. I was just making a fun, lighthearted point. Now excuse me. I have to go take a nap. At any damn time I won't. Oh, savage. A lot of people seem very upset that they have to spend some quality time with their children during the apocalypse. Which is strange because it also feels like it's the same people who say things like, you will never be happy unless you have human children. And then now they have to spend some quality times with them, and then it's like they're just bitching about how unhappy they are. Odd how that is. I would call those people breeders. Not to be confused with real parents. Real parents are valuable members of society who actually parent their children and actually have them because they enjoy spending time with them. Breeders are people who just have children because that's just what you do. But they have no inclination of spending time with their children, teaching them anything, and generally loathe being in their presence. So it's sort of like a fashion accessory, except it's a human? It's confusing. So real parents of the world, don't be offended at this video. It's not about you. It's about the bad people. The bad people who shouldn't have had children in the first place. Work from home equals no work? Apparently, quarantine suddenly means no work. I work in IT. During quarantine, we are working remotely. Same job, same hours, different office. Our phone system has been diverted to mobile as well as extension numbers, so business is running almost the same as it always has. I am child-free, and I have noticed this week that I am answering the phones more than I usually do. So much so that I started to get backed up with tickets mid-week. Bear in mind that the tickets also go to an email folder we all have access to. Me and the app developer for our business, made the app to allow us to divert the phones, are both child-free. I found out the phone stats from him after I spoke to him a little on how we are getting backed up. As it stands, I am at fucking 57% of calls. That's all calls coming through the support phones in an office of 7 people. I go onto Teams and ask what the fuck is going on. 2 of them didn't respond. They were at just over 40% together, so regular working day for them. The other 4 of them altogether straight up blamed it on the fact that they have kids and that they were off school. So having kids suddenly means you don't have to work anymore? We're all being paid the same, so why am I doing half the fucking work? Today, I purposely started ignoring the phone for every other call, as it is not fair and it would back me up in the first place anyway. I just got an email from 2 of the lazy assholes doing nothing saying that I am taking away their family time. Family time? You're on the fucking clock. It's work time, not fucking family time. I'm honestly gobsmacked, my dudes. Anyone else come across similar situations recently? Also, while I know you're not lawyers, do you guys think it would be worth forwarding these emails to our boss? Company owner, it's a tiny company, less than 20 of us. Happy quarantine, bitches! Edit 2, the update and info. Okay, so a bit of info that I didn't add before, didn't think it would be as relevant to the post as it was. I noticed the trend of calls ringing out, I tend to not answer them if I can while I'm on the job, ever since quarantine started on Monday morning. By Tuesday, I spoke to my buddy, the app developer, we're childhood friends, to start sending me over the relevant info. So that includes not only average percent of calls taken, but also the length of calls and how quickly it was answered. The last section for me was abysmal, since at most points I was on 2 PCs, remote access, at the same time, while the phone was blasting. My total percentage for the week was 57%. My highest average day total was fucking 72%. In an office of 7 fucking people. Either way, me and the bud made a spreadsheet, but since only he would really have access to this info at will, he offered to email it off to the boss, CC me in and over my back. So he did that maybe half an hour after this post, and holy fucking shit, it blew the fuck up! The spreadsheet had fucking everything in black and white. Everybody's individual averages per hour, day and week, lol. The boss was livid. Obviously, he pays their wages. And rang me almost immediately to talk through what the numbers meant. We did this via Teams, so my bud was also on the call. We laid it all out. I passed him the emails that were sent to me and the Teams messages. He goes quiet, then says, "Okay. Just leave it with me for a couple of hours. Original poster, you are off phone duty as for now." Super satisfying to put my phone on silent, lol, but I had all my emails go through. Anyways, long and short of it is that one is being fired because he talked back to the boss on the phone, laughing my ass off. 2 are having their bonuses blocked and reprimanded to the same amount that they didn't work this week. The boss can check their usage on other programs even if they just weren't answering calls. And the last one has been issued a final warning. I then got 4 delightful emails from some unhappy fathers. The get fucked. Laugh my ass off. Boss has given me 3 personal days off from Monday to Wednesday next week as a way of apologizing. I said it wasn't his fault, but he's a good boss. He said it was, as he should have managed his team better. Buddy also got 2 days of personal time off, so we're going to go drinking on Monday night since our local pub is still open. Laugh my ass off. Also, not only did he adjust my bonus, but he actually promised me a raise. I'm not officially promoted yet, as I don't meet the company standards for years of experience, but we're going to discuss my salary increase in the coming weeks when the workload dies down. And yes, I have it all in writing, lol. Again, thanks for all your support. Sorry the update was so long. Have a happy quarantine. Peace out and much love. Just wanted to mention that we are no longer going to the pub to drink, lol. We're both at mine and plastered. Thank you very much. Good. Follow the guidelines. Be a hermit for life. I find this hilarious. That someone be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get paid for a job that I'm not doing, but if you refuse to do my workload," oh my god, you're being so mean. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you're probably really distracted by having your small children around you, but isn't that an excellent time to teach them that sometimes you need to give other people some space? Isn't it? To your parenting opportunity? It seems like they were just like hell-bent on like, oh my god, like everyone who doesn't have any children at home can just do our jobs and then we'll just get paid for stuff we didn't do. Wow. Entitled. Corona party. I know what I want for my birthday. I want the coronavirus. Absolute scum neighbors. So today I opened up my window for some fresh air, and I heard some childish and loud music coming from a neighbor a few houses away from me. I look out the window and notice 2 little girls running away all giggly. When I turn my head to where they were coming from, I see a whole bunch of kids playing around in a bouncy castle and fairy costumes. My neighbor threw a fucking birthday party for his 8-year-old. There were a lot of children, and I usually wouldn't give a shit, but in these dreadful times, all I saw there was a giant COVID-19 fest. Today I heard kids don't have any problems with the virus, but they can still carry the virus and infect dear grandma and grandpa. Just do what your government says, goddammit! I've had enough of this shit. Yeah, it's really selfish. I feel like a lot of people seem to be like, oh, but why do we have to keep our children home though? Kids are fine if they get it. And it's like, do you have zero compassion for everyone else? Like, if your child gets the disease and it's just fine, but then gives it to someone else, that person could die. How does that not make you feel sympathetic? Like, it blows my mind. Reminds me of when I went to the pharmacy recently. I had to pick up something and this lady was like, oh my God, I can't believe how annoying it is that we have to get this homeschooling thing, because she was really annoyed that they were having to homeschool their kids because all the schools are shut down. They keep sending me all of these emails, like so many emails of coursework. Like, how am I supposed to help them learn this stuff? Like, I don't have the time or the patience or knowledge to teach them. Like, this is just, you'd really think they would have better systems in place for stuff like this. And it's like, what? For a pandemic? For the apocalyptic-like situations? Pretty sure that didn't occur to them. And you seem really focused on homework and how that's unfair when other people are dying. Your priorities are a little askew. It's like the same people who don't understand why they can't have a bunch of kids mingling together because kids catch the virus and then they infect other people. It's like they missed the point completely. Not that it's only the coronavirus that is bringing out the worst in some people. It's just all the time. Can't you just get a new one? Excuse me. Another tale of fun and conflict from an extended family gathering. A bit of a long tale, this one. So we were having dinner at my great-aunt's house. Everyone was there, including more than a few obnoxious cousins, who had now turned into obnoxious parents. While there are a number of them, the star of tonight's event was B. Once a party girl and wild child, she is now a single mother of 3 children, all of which have learning disabilities, and one has severe autism. As a bit of a background, she loves to tell the family her sob story at every chance she gets. Like most of us, she was brought up with well-to-do parents and grew up accustomed to a certain lifestyle. But because her work pays peanuts, she's an artist, and her parents can't bankroll all her and her children's expenses, also, her parents are financially assisting with their other children. The extended family felt sorry for her, but couldn't really help out too much because of their commitments. Except me, well-off, child-free, and fancy-free. So there was a lot of pressure from the family for me to step up, since I didn't have my own kids. Perhaps sponsor my autistic nephew so he could have a better life? The family thought they were making headway in convincing me. Until the dinner. Back to the dinner. I had to run to the vet's office to pick up a few things for my elderly cats, so I made it just in time for appetizers. I joined the conversation at a table with most of the cousins, and this is where the fun begins. B says, "Ooh, what's in the bag? Fertility pills? Have you finally decided to become an adult?" Did I mention that B was an atrocious human being who I did not care for? As if I came from the vet, my cats needed a few things. Oh, for the love of... Not those damn cats again. Elderly cats are so expensive. Why don't you just have them put down and get new ones? I hear they're free at the shelter. Some of my obnoxious cousins snicker. I give B a look and she laughs like she's the cleverest person in the world. About an hour and a half later, we were having dessert. B was retelling her usual sob story, bemoaning of how difficult her life was, how she could barely make ends meet, how she had to go into debt, and how she didn't know how she was going to pay for the kids' schooling, how they were hand-me-downs and could never buy toys, how even with her parents' help, it was not nearly enough. She worked so hard so she could have time for herself. She hadn't bought new shoes in forever. How it took a village to raise a child, and how it was time the family stepped up and did their share. She then looked straight at me and said, "I'm always amazed at how some people can be so selfish. Traveling first class, eating in the best restaurants. I'm amazed they can do this, knowing their own nieces and nephews are wearing old clothes, knowing they can't see the doctors they so desperately need. and sometimes have to go without. People are monsters. Too bad, Bee. Children with disabilities are so expensive. Why don't you just have them put down and get new ones? I hear they're free at the orphanage. Yes, I'm a monster. Shrug. I'm fine with that. Edit, aka what happened next. The obnoxious cousins predictably gasped. And then, after a few seconds, my sister, who was on the table plus one cousin who is gay and also CF, snickered very quietly. Now, I'm not some quiet doormat, so this is not some shouting comment about a shy family member who never speaks up. The family knows I don't take BS from anyone, and I usually speak my mind. I try to give B a pass sometimes because her life sucks, but I generally don't mince words. B, after a few seconds of staring at me like I was the devil incarnate, actually stands up. How dare you? There's joking around, but you've gone too far. You are niece, nephew, nephew's aunt. I know you hate my kids, but that was just uncalled for. Everyone here sees you treat your cats like they're more important than my children. Do you think we can't see you spending thousands of dollars on them while we're over here treading water? What the hell is wrong with you? First, I don't hate your kids. Second, I'm fine with the family knowing my cats are more important to me than your children because it's true. So you're telling me that if your cats were trapped in a burning building with my children and you could only save one of them, you'd save your cats? Me thinking, why do people always use this example? Honestly, it's just asking for trouble, and I have a ready answer for this. Yes. In fact, if your kids were in the way of my cats, I'd push them aside to save my cats. Also, maybe you want to keep your voice down, B? I looked over at the adults table. There are aunts and uncles, and while we're grown up now, we still referred to that table as the adults table. And noticed to my annoyance they had stopped chatting and were now looking at our table. That was the wrong thing to say. Our drama queen took one look over to the adults table, saw her opportunity to cause an even bigger scene, and burst into tears and stormed off. She sat in the adults table when she returned, obviously to tell the aunts and uncles that I'm Charles Manson. Next day, my parents, who don't understand my way of thinking exactly but love me anyways, lectured me very mildly about how I need to keep the peace with B because her life is a tragedy. I need to be the bigger person, and let's not pour salt in that wound. Like the mature adult I am, I sulked around and said, well, she started it. To which my mom responded with, you've got a better life. Be nicer. Play bitch games, win bitch prizes. You should never speak ill of someone's pets, just like you should never speak ill of someone's kids, but damn, that woman started it. And if she wanted to get money off of someone, I don't understand her reasoning or strategy with that. Like, oh, if I just insult their most beloved family members who happens to not be humans enough, maybe they'll give me moolah. What? Yeah. She sounds like one of those people who are just like, I'm so sad, so I get to be mean to everyone. It's like, no, that's not how that works. And the world would be a toxic place if no one puts you in your place. Dr. No. Bingoed by a doctor after sterilization? I got a total abdominal hysterectomy in late 2018. They took my uterus, ovaries, cervix, everything. I originally went in to get sterilized and discovered that I had stage 4 endometriosis that was causing internal bleeding and that had reduced my reproductive organs to scar tissue. Fast forward about a week ago when I went to see a new doctor after moving. Him. You've had a hysterectomy? That's extreme. Why on earth did you have that done? Me explains medical history. Him. You should have just taken painkillers. Now you can't have children. Me. Yeah, thank fuck for that, right? Him. I'm sorry. Me. Oh, I've never wanted kids, and like hell I was going to suffer through with painkillers that don't work on me anyway. But you might change your mind. Too late for that. I'm happy I did it. I don't agree. He treated me with quite a bit of hostility after that exchange and refused to take me on as a patient after I'd completed all of the enrollment forms and had been entered into the system? what? Never going back there again. Edit. Okie dokie, we'll be posting bad reviews across multiple sites and we'll be reporting that fucker to the medical board. Thanks, guys. That's nuts. Like, that's the biggest problem with a lot of medical people. They seem to think that women can't not like children. Like, it's just ingrained in them, this sexist sort of like, oh, but all women must want to pop out kids, must want to, you know, grow them inside themselves and pop them out of their vagina and raise them forever. Like, they don't understand that just like men, women are people and people can have different interests, because those medical professionals just view women as breeding opportunities. And for them, it's just like, oh my god, how could you do such a thing? Make yourself happy and shit? I don't agree with you. Like, you may not agree, but that's not up to you, dude. If you want to have like 1 billion babies, go ahead. And if you could get pregnant and you would want that, go ahead. Yeah, it's sad. And that man needs to be reported. Creepy biology teacher by Ranch Apparel. So I, female 16, was in my Y11 biology lesson the other day, and we were talking about the nervous system and pain receptors and stuff. My biology teacher was going on about how the worst pain he ever felt was when he chipped the tip of his finger off with gardening scissors. But then he said to the class, well, all you girls in here will experience even more excruciating pain in 10 years' time when you have to push something that'll tear you apart out of your vagina. I swear he said that almost word for word. He made eye contact with me too, and then chuckled to himself like the smug little twat that he is. I felt sort of disgusted and violated for the rest of the lesson. Why would he say something like that to teenagers? For reference, he has 2 children, and I see his son, who is my age, almost every weekend. Constantly complains about his kids too. Imagine that. Seems sort of sadistic. Like, if you've watched The Office and Gabe goes on about how he wants to go to the maternity ward because Pam is having a baby because he likes how things can go so horribly wrong. That kind of creepy sadistic, you know what I mean? Oh my. It's probably the same type of dude who was like, I don't understand why women don't like me. What do they mean I have a shitty personality? What do they mean I seem like I hate women? I don't understand. Women are so difficult. Like, it's on you, bro. That's it for this time, you guys. I hope you had a swell time when it took your mind off of the apocalypse. Not really, though. It's not the apocalypse. We're all gonna be fine, but for now, we must be fine while being hermits, okay? Let's be super hermits. Let's save the world one hermit at a time. All for one and a one for all and all that jazz. Thank you so much to my wonderful patrons, Capra, Magdalena Wurska, Cami, and Ellie. Everybody, stay safe, stay awesome. See you next Friday. And soon every Wednesday, too. Just had to put that in there.